You asked and I had to make it. Let's turn our wafer paper into this beautiful crepe paper edible texture on our wafer paper. I'm not the original creator. I will link them below. The cakes are gorgeous. So this is my take on that technique. To do that, I will start with one sheet of wafer paper. This is 0.30 millimeters or single thickness wafer paper. I will need one sheet of parchment paper. That's my secret how to make the texture. Like this on my table. And to shape my wafer paper, I'm going to use my acetonic, which is glycerin-based wafer paper conditioner mixed with touch of gel color. And I will apply it with a little spray bottle. So I will start by mixing my colors. Just a touch of gel color here, mixed with my acetonic. That's it. Shake very well and let's make our texture. I will take a piece of wafer paper, put it shiny side up first on my parchment paper like this. You can see I have a little bit of space on all sides. And I will start with spraying my wafer paper very generously. I need to make sure that my wafer paper is well covered in my conditioner mixture. And I will turn it upside down. Now I have my bumpy side up and I will spray with the same mixture. Now we need cornstarch. I like to apply my cornstarch with a fluffy brush, and we need to cover our wafer paper with cornstarch on bumpy side until it's not sticking anymore. And the next step is to take a rolling pin or something relatively thick and roll your parchment paper with wafer paper onto your rolling pin. Like this. Then I'm going to take my rolling pin with my parchment paper and wafer paper inside and bring it together, like scrunching it together very firmly. So you can see how I have it on my rolling pin, all scrunched up and brought together with this beautiful texture. And that's it. Now we need to gently unroll it. So it's going to look like this first, but look at the texture. So we have our parchment paper and our wafer paper all attached together. So now all we need to do is to peel our parchment paper off of our wafer paper like this, and it will be very soft and flexible because we used our wafer paper conditioner. So if you wanted to put it on your cake, you can use a touch of piping gel and stretch it around your cake or create any textures you want. And if you want a stiffer shape, just let it dry for about maybe 15 minutes, depends on your humidity, and it becomes much more rigid and better for creating textural shapes and other decorations using wafer paper. So now you have two options. You can use this soft and flexible one to apply on your cake immediately, or you can use this one to create a little design, and I'll show you how I make my bowl. Now, if you wanted to shape it and you wanted to make a bowl or any designs and your wafer paper is already dry, you can use the same mixture to soften it again. So I'll cut my wafer paper in 4 pieces, and to shape it I'm going to spray it with a little bit of the same mixture of my wafer paper conditioner. You can either shape it and leave it to dry, or I'm going to use my wafer paper glue, which is wafer paper scrubs melted in water, and make a little ball. So I'll take my wafer paper glue and apply at the base right here, and bring it all together and pinch it like this. So you can see now I have a perfect loop for my bowl. Same for the rest of it, like this, and bring it all together. If your wafer paper is not staying together, you can use a little paper clip like this, and I find it's easier to put it on the rolling pin or some other shape to help it dry open. And now that I have my decorations all dry like this with all these textures, I'm going to apply them onto my cake using piping gel. Then I do it the same way. I take piping gel on my brush and apply on the back side of my decoration like this, and apply onto my cake. If it's not going to stay in place, I prefer to use a toothpick and poke it through my cake. So like this, with a toothpick, it's going to stay in place until it dries. And I cut a few other pieces, like the ends of my tail, to complete the design. And that's it. I will set it aside to dry as always, then remove my toothpicks to have the complete design. So now you know my secret how to create this beautiful crepe texture on our wafer paper. Don't forget to download my wafer paper conditioner recipe and join me for the next tutorial.